One of the questions I get asked, obviously, is why are comments disabled on this channel? When you meet people, are you going to judge them by their potential to do good in the future? Or are you going to judge them by who they are right now, who they already are, what they're already doing? The most generous thing you can do with people is to set aside the bad things they've done in the past, to set aside the harm they're doing now, and to look at them and relate to them in terms of their potential to do good in the future. And on a case-by-case basis, I think you need to meet people and look into their eyes, and you need to make that decision for yourself. There's no way you can make a blanket decision like, this is how I'm going to talk to Christians, or this is how I'm going to talk to white people who are into yoga and rock crystals and pseudoscience, but who are also vegan. Again, it's a huge gap there. Very difficult for me to cooperate with those people, very difficult for me to talk to those people. There's no way you can have a blanket decision. This is how I'm going to talk to people who are part of the scientific community or professional politicians engaged with these ecological issues, but who eat meat, who are non-vegan. Or this is how I'm going to relate to people who are hunters, but who really care about ecology and forest conservation. People who hunt and eat meat, but who care about some other things. There is no way you can have a decision that applies to all of them uniformly. I think on a case-by-case basis, you need to talk to people, you need to listen to people, look into their eyes if possible, and you have to decide, if you have it in you, whether or not you have the generosity of spirit to treat them not as they are, to treat them not as they deserve to be treated, not to judge them based on their past conduct or their current conduct, but to judge them based on their potential to do good in the future, to make the world a better place. Because the people at this conference, I think some of them have that potential, even if they're scumbags, even if they're engaged in every ridiculous excuse for organic meat, happy meat, for living a lifestyle that I find ethically unforgivable, for living a life of self-selected obscurity, of voluntary ignorance and excuse-making for evil and cruelty, self-indulgence, and harm of the worst kind. Am I going to put that aside, and am I going to try to do something positive with you? Yes or no. It's a face-to-face, human-to-human decision. And for that reason, one of the questions I get asked, obviously, is why are comments disabled on this channel? If you compare the amount of time you spend, if you spend 1 hour making comments on the internet, reading in a public forum, whether it's Reddit or on YouTube, and it may be 15 minutes here and there that adds up. You might think, oh, I never spend an hour doing comments on the internet. Use a stopwatch. Actually time yourself, how much time you're spending talking to strangers through that kind of anonymous typewritten format, whether it's on Facebook or YouTube or Twitter. Many of you watching this video, you are wasting many hours a week. But it's very likely you're spending more than 1 hour a week with that kind of typing communication with strangers. I would challenge you to stop doing that. Take that 1 hour and instead deal with one person who has some potential, by telephone, by Skype, or by face-to-face. And as you do that again and again, many times it'll lead nowhere. You'll spend 1 hour talking to somebody, and you'll decide either they don't have it in them to make something positive happen, or that you don't have it in you to make something positive happen in cooperation. That's fine. But I promise you, taking that 1 hour to talk to one person on Skype, by telephone, in person, it's a much more meaningful way to seek out the basis for real activism than engaging in 100 hours of anonymous, faceless, witty banter in comment sections, because that can lead nowhere. And when you're doing it, I urge you to keep this concept of generosity of spirit in mind. Because you're not out here to prove that you're smarter than other people. And the internet traps people that way. People lose sight of that. They think they're out here to be the smartest or the prettiest or the most popular. And you're not. All of that is meaningless. The only test that matters is whether or not you have the generosity of spirit to cooperate with other people, and whether or not you can find the other people who really can cooperate with you.